And we're back.
We can hear it.
We can definitely hear it now.
Yeah, put the volume down on those. Try to go as slow as you can. Because if not, we're going to hear ourselves. Baby, how about now?
Okay, perfect. We're going to go ahead and put those on the ground.
Yeah, we'll put those right here.
And the sound is much better.
Yes, okay, now. Okay, great. So,
so we're actually on question. We're on question number 2 for the 4th time.
Yes, for the 4th time. So you guys can hear.
Get better though.
They are.
Can you guys hear us well?
You're acing this test.
Are we echoing or are we good to go? Can you hear us good? All right. Well, yes, we're good. Okay, we're back. Welcome to another episode of Ray and Dev. For like the 15th time today.
So we've shot 5 episodes so far today.
Yeah, today. So don't expect an episode for another month.
Yes, for another month. We're done.
Yeah, we're tired out for the month.
My contract only says 4 months. So we're getting
thanks
to
Phyllis. Thanks to Phyllis. So Phyllis, we're gonna ask you the question for the 5th time.
Okay.
So
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and go past that. After that.
Yeah, let's do another one.
Let's go ahead and what advice do you have for a new agent starting out in real estate in 2022?
Do it because you want to help people, not because of the money. And there's a lot of realtors out there that I've come in contact, and you can tell the way they talk to you or the way they handle a transaction. They're only in it for the money. But there's also a lot of those out there that are like in it just like I am. You have to do it because I feel that this is such a service-oriented field, a career, that you must have the desire and the passion to help people.
Absolutely. I agree. Now, what has real estate changed in your life?
Well, the biggest thing is that I've made a lot of new friends through real estate.
You meet a lot of people.
Yes, you meet a lot of people. And financially, on the personal side, it has made my lifestyle a lot better. Even though when I was working 9-to-5 job in the past few years, it was hard for me with 2 kids. It was hard for me sometimes to make ends meet. Although I had great jobs, making pretty good money, it was still kind of, it was kind of a struggle. But now
you're a baller.
Well, not really, but
almost
there.
Almost there. All right. Now, why did you lose? Why did you choose La Rosa?
La Rosa impressed me. When I first got my license, and I went to the real estate convention, and they had a gigantic booth there. And it's kind of corny, but the booth was so beautiful. It had this beautiful blue couch. It was velvet, and it had all this beautiful. So it looked like someone's living room. It was like a high,
Remind me to tell you a story about Neville and the couch.
Don't ever tell that story.
It was like a luxurious living room, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I love this. I love this booth. And then one of the agents was there, and he was talking to me, and he was just so friendly, and he was.
Do you remember the name of the agent?
I do not, but he did have an accent, so I think he was Spanish. So, but he impressed me. He was very informative. And he invited me to come to the office, to the celebration office, to, check them out. So I left feeling, oh my gosh. And then I was on the bus with it was a lot of La Rosa realtors, and they were talking about their business and their deals, and they were like, going on and collaborating and laughing and having a good time. Yeah.
From the trolley.
The trolley.
Okay.
And so I went
I was saying the same thing.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a bus?
Yeah, from the facility
to the parking.
To the parking, yeah.
So after that, I was so impressed.
I walked to the parking, so
I didn't know there was a bus. I took.
It was so hot. It was done.
I'm sure it was hot when I was there.
You notice probably what happened. All the La Rosa and other agents got on the bus. They were all probably the females that because it was so hot.
Yes.
Women down the
We
bus,
had
I guess.
high heels on and all that. So.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to work in heels. I know.
I guess. Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Me neither.
So,
Let's get that out there.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. I'm not assuming anything. It's 2022. Can't assume anything.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
what is your ultimate goal in real estate?
My ultimate goal is to help at least 1,000 people get into homes.
Okay.
I would love to do that, and on a personal side, there's some things I want to do. I've never really taken an international vacation. I want to do that. I want to,
So let's say if you did take an international vacation, where? Like what would be
first place I think I would go Germany.
Germany?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I like to go Germany.
That is so weird. Why Germany?
Because I
Is
heard
that
a lot
is
of
that
good
where
things
is
about
that where
Germany.
Mercedes is?
And
Is that-
Tokyo is the next one. Germany, my best friend went there. She was we worked for the same company, and she went there on several business trips. And she said, "Phyllis, we got to go to Germany.
Okay.
You just love it. It's really great."
Are you putting that on your vision board for this year? Is that a trip you would want to take this year?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I would love to go to Germany, go to Tokyo, and go to Rome.
Rome. Okay.
You know what? I think we're gonna have to start asking our guests to bring their vision boards.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that's what's on there.
Correct. Absolutely. If it's not on your vision board, you're not going to accomplish it this year.
Exactly.
Just so you know.
I will write it on there.
No, write it. You need to put a picture of the place in Germany that you want to visit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to be specific with your goals.
I will do.
All
If
right.
you want to
Now,
fly first class there, put that there.
Mhm.
Phyllis, this is a question that I always ask every guest.
Yes.
When you were a kid in high school,
Mhm.
who were you? If I met you in high school, who would I be meeting? Would I be meeting?
You would be meeting. I have pretty much the same personality that I do now. I was not, too well known, but I was known, kind of well known. I had a nickname. And it was Sunshine.
Oh wow.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. That was my nickname.
Is it because you were always smiling, or?
Yes.
Oh,
that
wow.
was it. Yeah. In fact, I just had lunch with an old friend that we were dating in high school, and we hadn't seen each other for at least a couple of decades now. And he came to Orlando. He said, "I got to see you. I haven't seen you in like forever." He was a basketball player.
At the time.
He was a basketball player.
Did he make it to the pros?
So he went to college and he played a little bit.
Are we gonna name drop today, or? Just saying. I mean, famous.
I mean, yeah.
A popular basketball.
not NBA, but
Sure,
he
that's why I
played
need
for
Google real
college.
quick.
Yeah,
Hey, he played college. That's
he
a
was
name drop.
very, very nice looking, tall. But anyway, we had lunch and and he called me and said, Sunshine, and we would talk about all the things.
How did you guys reconnect?
He connected with me on Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yo, Facebook is,
The
you
power
want
of
to connect
Facebook.
with people?
Yeah.
Facebook is where it's at. I mean, people are watching us through Facebook, okay?
Mhm.
Looking beautiful, Louis says, by the way.
Oh.
Beautiful. So thank you, Louis, for that.
Thank you.
He's not talking about you. He probably is talking about you.
Correct. I don't know who he's talking to, but it could have been anybody.
It could have been anybody on here.
Appreciate it.
Wow.
We're all
Thank you,
handsome.
Louis.
Thank you, Lou. So today we're going to talk about a few topics in Orlando. I wanted to get your feedback on it.
Okay.
Okay. One of the topics we're going to talk about is how rapidly we are growing here in Florida, and how the biggest declines have occurred, and what cities are seeing the biggest decline. We're also going to be talking about the restaurant. We're going to have the restaurant of the week. What restaurant you should be going to. We're going to be talking about.
Phyllis knows about restaurants.
I do.
Phyllis does know about restaurants.
Off camera, we had a pretty good conversation
Yes.
about restaurants.
What's new in Orlando real estate, And then we're also going to be talking about the success story that we had, one of the success stories that we had here at the office. We always wrap up with that. So let's get into the first thing. So Florida population. How do you feel about that traffic, Phyllis?
It's getting crazy out there. Like I said, I was born and raised here in Orlando, and every year
What
it's
school
just.
did you go to? Is it still around? I'm just kidding.
What are you saying? Wow.
Ray is saying that because
I'm just joking. No, what school did you go to?
I went to Cherokee High School, which is not open anymore.
See?
But I went to Boone High School.
What did I say? I know my stuff.
Oh my
I do
God.
my research.
Oh my gosh, Ray.
No, but it's not because of
When we
age.
get
It's
off this
because of the
camera.
school. It's because I know that school's no longer around.
No,
I knew it.
middle school
I
is
already
not.
asked you that a long
It is
time
not.
ago.
Yes.
You see, I remember stuff. I'm like an elephant. You gotta watch that.
Oh man,
So-
next time.
Yeah. So, but then you went to Boone.
I went to Boone High School. Yes.
You know that was
I
one
could
of our
have.
biggest
I
rivals.
could have gone to Jones because I was in the neighborhood, but no, I can't go there.
So you went to Boone.
Yeah, it's mostly.
Well, Jones is beautiful right now. Have you seen Jones lately?
Well, it was a pretty good school. It's just that I said if I go to Jones, I wouldn't be able to focus because it's
You knew
all
a
my
lot of friends.
and stuff.
Yeah, so you were gonna.
Oh wow, so you made the
Yeah.
responsible decision.
Dude,
in
I
high
did.
school.
I
Wow.
did, and
My- so you were
So
a party
Phyllis was
girl.
always
and then-
responsible.
I was never a party girl.
Never.
No, I was never a party girl.
Okay.
But I just thought that school
So
was better.
let me read these stats to you so you can understand in regards to the growth in
You
Florida.
understand why there's so much traffic.
Yeah, so here it goes. So we grew by 211,000 residents between July of 2020
Why does everybody want
to
to
July
come to
2021.
to
That's
Florida?
a great
Why?
question you're
Why
asking.
is that?
That's a
Why
great
not
question.
California or
I don't know what.
Texas?
So I'll ask Neville. What's your opinion on that? Why
So-
do you think?
I answer that with a question. If where you're living right now is shut down and you can't move unless you show that you're vaccinated, most places are shut down. Would you really want to stay there? Would you want to do business there?
Well, I don't know if that's the reason why they want to come to Florida. I think Florida is always sunshine, the beaches and the things.
I mean, that's also very
family
attractive.
oriented,
Yeah.
retirement. You can come retire here. I think that's what draws people.
That as well. I think it does draw people. But I know for a fact that COVID had
A huge impact.
huge impact on why people are actually moving to Florida.
I think so.
It's looking like by between now and 2026, we're gonna have 300 people moving every day into Florida.
That's a lot.
Well, I'll tell you like this. So if you look at the stat, right, the next stat down is New York has seen the largest decline by losing 319,000 residents, 319,020 residents, to other states. One of those states that got a bulk of that relocation demographic is
That's
Florida.
us, yes.
So,
yeah.
you have Orlando. So the way I bring
And
it
it's
down.
not even New York. Not just New York. It's also New York, California. There's a third one, Illinois
Yes.
as well.
And they're losing people, and a lot of people are moving to those cities that have less restrictions. So if you look at it from the standpoint of who's declining and who's increasing, obviously New York is declining, California is declining, Illinois is declining, but then you look at Texas is growing in population.
Texas
Now-
is actually the only state that we're trailing as far as growth right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then the next one after us is Tennessee. So Tennessee is also growing. Why? If you look at the three, one, we're employer entrepreneur friendly. So if you have a business and you want to move your business to a state that makes sense, obviously Florida, no income tax, Texas, Tennessee, no income tax. So with no federal income tax, and we're a friendly state for those people that want to move their business here. And the best thing about it is you can conduct your business here. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna shut you down. We're not gonna worry about if you're vaccinated or not. And people are gonna say, well, Florida's gonna have high infections. Yes, but we have the lowest death toll in America. And I don't, it's not to get political or anything, but just look at it from the standpoint of the amount of people that we have versus the amount of people that get sick versus the amount of people that die. I think what the governor here has done has been very effective, and it has helped the state, and that hence is causing other people to realize that, and that's why they're moving here. That's my take.
That's your thing.
So,
I would say this: our natural growth is actually declining,
all
but
right.
that's nationwide. Our natural growth,
Yes.
natural growth is death versus the birth rate.
Yeah.
But that's actually declining nationwide.
Now,
It's the actually highest.
you being the young person within the team and within the office, the youngest out of all of us.
Yeah.
Explain to me why your people don't want to procreate.
Bro, it's expensive having babies out here. Have you seen it?
I don't know what that means.
Phyllis, you have kids.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
See, so when I hear Phyllis's stories,
It's not that bad.
what encourages
Listen,
me
it
to
took me
do
15
this?
years to have the second one from the first one.
Exactly.
My daughter was 15 before.
Traumatizing.
So you were completely traumatized.
Listen, I had a dream. This is so true. I had a dream about a month ago that I got pregnant. And
Again?
I literally screamed.
You woke up screaming?
I woke up screaming. That's just how
Exactly.
terrifying it is to have a kid. I
Terri-
think nowadays.
And I'm hearing this right now, and what is encouraging me to have kids?
Listen, I'll give you the encouraging factor.
No.
I'll give you the encouraging factor. So I've got 3 kids, right? I have, Benji's the youngest. He's 11.
Mhm.
You know, shout out to Benji. Mariana is 15. You know, she's my middle, and then my oldest is 18.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
And they all have cell phones, right?
No. Only
Okay.
2 of them did. Only 2 of them.
Only 2 of them.
I did not give Benji a cell phone.
Oh, okay.
I decided.
So you
to
picked
How old is
someone else.
Benji?
Benji's 11.
11.
Oh, yes, he's 11. So
They all have
an iPad,
iPads. They all have
Yeah,
iPads.
they all have
Okay.
iPads.
Yeah.
Computer.
Go ahead and add that up. How much
Yeah,
is iPad?
add all of that. Add all
So-
of it. And if they were
so-
in daycare, your wife
So this
stay
this
home.
now
Yes.
I will tell you this. I have good kids.
Mhm.
I have good kids. They're very respectful. They listen. You know, me and Vivi try to raise them right. I mean, they're more terrified of, the 5 foot monster that we have at home because she literally they're terrified of Vivi.
Is that what you call Vivi? Does she
No.
know you call
I
that?
mean, I'm sorry. Love you, Vivi.
That's our
That's
guest.
not what I'm talking about. So
That's our
what
Vivi.
I mean by that is she raises them right. She raises them respectfully, and I got good kids. I understand. I've seen the horror stories. I've seen the horror stories, but so I'll give you an example. So when me and Vivi got married, and we were at our reception, when one of my nephews was there. Now this is this guy was Ivan the Terrible. This guy was bad. I mean, put it like this: he ripped one of the sockets out.
Oh wow!
Well,
And
Wow.
at the venue, and I was like, oh shoot, and he was 3 years old. So I'm like, yo, this kid's gonna be horrible. And he was, I talked to my cousin. My cousin's like, yeah, I don't know what.
He's a horrible kid still.
No, so he just got married. I went to his wedding.
Okay.
He's an adult now,
So he's in a
and he's a
horrible adult.
completely different person.
well, that's good.
Completely different
That's
person.
really
But once again, I look at it from the background. Look at the background. So when he was in that position where he was like that, Dad wasn't around.
Okay.
But then when my
It makes a big difference when both parents. are
yeah,
home.
when my cousin remarried and she had a man, because obviously you can marry a wimp, but if she got a man in the house, then at that point he started to change because he started to follow and listen to instructions. But he's an amazing kid. This kid is going to college.
Yeah.
He just got married. He decided to get married early. He fell in love with his high school sweetheart. Hopefully
So-
they last. And
What I'm
they're
getting
probably
from
gonna
this
have
story,
kids.
what I'm
So
getting from the story is that the parents had to live with a horrible kid, so they became a great adult, and then the world gets to prosper off this great
What if
adult.
they were good?
which
What
the parents get to prosper too, because now this great adult is going to do great things in his life, and now when the parents need him, he's going to be around.
So they're old and childless, but when they were young, they're being
Yeah.
terrorized
And they go-
every day.
You misinterpreted the story. Oh my God, my wife's wrote. Thanks, Ray. Google, I'm just joking. This is just comedy for the podcast.
So if you don't see Ray next week, we have to fill in his seat. You know
That's
why?
right.
Yeah.
I might be over here.
Yeah, exactly.
I love you, my queen. I love you. So that being said, just understand this. It is true. We are probably at the lowest level in our repopulation because of the fact that a lot of the young people are not seeing the value of having children. But remember this, for you young cats out there, you were once children too, and you were probably the worst children, and that's probably why you don't want to have kids, because you were bad. You were probably little bad mother
No,
suckers.
that's not the thing. I think they want to have careers and make money instead of being home with kids.
But they don't have to be home with kids. At the end of the day, you have
You're
to
right. I was left home by myself all the time.
So listen,
That's what
All
I'm
the
saying.
time.
people. Okay, so we interviewed one of the biggest top producers in Orlando, right? And I don't know if you caught this in the interview, Neville, but she had a nanny. So
No,
she did have a
I
nanny.
well,
so
I mean,
let me explain. I know a lot of successful people that do, and if you get the right nanny, I mean, it works the world.
She was very fortunate to be able to get a nanny
Yeah.
that became part of her family.
Correct. She was one of the, and this is the thing, and the coolest thing about it was, she was still there, even though she was a very successful entrepreneur. She was still there for the important moments. She was there for when the baby was sick. She still was there. But when she needed to step out in a heartbeat to go show a property or something, she was able to have that name in place.
So as a millennial, I'm not even a millennial. I don't know what I am. I probably am a millennial.
Yeah, you are millennial. Yeah, definitely.
As a millennial,
Yeah.
there's not too many millennials making enough money to hire a nanny.
That's what I'm saying.
So for the ones that are making enough money to hire a nanny, why aren't y'all having kids? That's my question.
Right.
They are
You
having
have to
kids.
answer in the comments.
No.
Bro, they listen, answer in the comments, but I think they are having kids.
I see a lot of them with pets, not kids.
Yeah, exactly.
See a lot of people with pets.
With pets.
Dogs, yes.
So okay, I'll give you an example. Patrick and David, he's got 4
For what?
kids,
He's old.
2 dogs.
He's old.
Yeah, is he in
What
his
do you mean he's
40s
old?
already, right?
Like
40s?
45.
Yeah.
He's 43.
He's 43.
That's old.
He's not a millennial.
He's not 20s. He's not in his 20s.
So you can have kids when you're in your 30s. Well, you're not even in his 20s.
I'm not even in my 20s
Well,
yet.
well,
Exactly.
30 still. You still have
Still
your
young.
kids' age. I mean.
So bottom line.
I had my
is-
first child when I was 27.
Bottom line is I'm not having any
22.
kids yet. If I do have any kids, if anything, I'm actually following in the footsteps of someone else that is very close to you, Ray. He's also a Zapata.
Eric?
Following in the footsteps of Eric. He waited until he was 42 to have kids.
Well, I wouldn't wait that long.
I'm not gonna wait that long, but
But
I
think
feel like
about
he
it
did
like
it smart. Eric is in a position where, and this is something that this top producer that we interviewed yesterday mentioned. He's in a position where he makes enough money that he doesn't have to discuss money.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. No, and that makes sense. And I agree with you that, we understand that money is usually one of the biggest factors for divorces and stuff like that. If there's a lack thereof, obviously people, it creates friction in a relationship. I totally understand that. What I'm saying is, you millennials need to think about back in in the traditions that we had in the past. It's not about, go to school, get a job, get married, have a family, and then go die. No, it's about go make a difference in life, and the people that you bring in, raise them so that they continue that legacy on, for you. So you start it and let them finish it, But I don't think that not having kids is the problem. First of all, you got people that make it and they get wealthy and they get old and then they didn't have no kids. Guess what they do? They leave the money to their cat.
To their cat. So look, okay, you know what? I'm gonna
What the
kill
hell
this whole
cat wants to do with
conversation.
13
I'm
million?
gonna blow this whole conversation up because I forgot I even talked to this person today. So my youngest client I ever had, she bought a house at 18.
Yes.
Wow.
She's turning 19.
You talked to her today?
Wow.
I was actually talking to her today. She
Okay,
is
cool.
actually pregnant right now.
Yes.
She is 21, I believe. Right
Yes.
now. 21 or 22. She has a home. She's pregnant right now. She's gonna have a beautiful daughter in April, and she's also married.
There you go.
So there you go. We are having kids.
Okay, well, more of you need to. I'm just saying. Let's follow the stats. What more of you need to. All right, so restaurant of the month. What are we recommending this month? The restaurant of the week. Sorry.
The week is actually Memic Thai Fusion. I don't know if you guys have been there. It's on East Colonial.
Yep. East Colonial and Mill.
No, it is in Mills.
Mills. Yeah.
It's in 50 in Mills basically. Talk about
Amazing Thai restaurant. The food is amazing. The atmosphere is great. A great place for a first date. You ever been?
I've never been there.
You've
I should
never
go
been
and
to
check it
Mammoth?
out.
Wow.
Yeah, you can put that on my list.
Yes, put that on your
I
list.
can't.
Honestly, it is a good place for a date because
Yeah.
it is a very relaxed atmosphere,
Mhm.
and it is one of those places that serve like kind of like tapas, like small
Yeah,
I like that.
portions,
I like
but
that.
they're pretty big. Like you can get full off of like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they serve generously,
Mhm.
but it's a shareable
Yeah.
meal.
What
So-
about the drinks? Oh, good.
So we always
It's a
go
lot
for
of-
lunch, so we
Yeah.
never get,
Oh,
we're not day drinkers.
Yeah.
Even though popular demand says different, so we're not day drinkers.
Mm.
Google, we're
They
not
have
day
sake,
drinkers.
sake, and
They have
beer,
sake,
so-
they have
Oh,
beer.
It's-
They
it's
do have.
And where is that
side
located?
drinks. That is on Orange.
Mills.
No, it's
on
50 in
Colonial. It's on
50 in Mills.
50 in Mills.
But you'll see it as you drive down 50.
It's a
Once you
yellow
pass Mills,
on-
it'll be on your left.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
yellow awning that says Memic.
And then
And
obviously
it's not even Memic, it's Mamak.
Mamak. Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
saying it wrong,
Thank
but
I've been saying it wrong all this time. Now
How to spell that? Spell that.
M-A-M.
I noticed. So you're recommending the wings, right?
M-A-M-A.
MAMAK.
Okay.
M-A-M-A-K for those of you listening out there. So she's over here trying to figure out, this is what she's probably gonna go for dinner. So,
So if you are gonna go for dinner, I do say get the wings.
yes,
So,
the wings are amazing.
They're pretty big as well. So
Yeah.
5 wings is good enough. They're really crunchy. I love it.
I'm on my way home.
Yeah, exactly. So grab the wings.
Yeah.
Try the roti.
The roti is amazing.
It is,
Roti?
Yeah, roti. It's
Yeah.
like a thin flatbread looking,
Correct.
Okay.
but it's very buttery
And
flaky, and it has like a nice sauce to dip it in. As
Yeah,
well.
it's got like a curry.
It's not like Caribbean roti for my Caribbean people out here. I know y'all heard me say roti and y'all think it's something else. It's not that, but it's still good. And then
the curry duck.
Curry
red,
duck.
The red.
No, I don't
curry
like
duck.
duck.
You don't like duck?
You don't like duck?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Too
Well,
gamey? Okay.
this is not that bad actually. This is actually
The curry
it's not
takes
as
away
gamey.
from a lot of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, it tastes really good.
And then the curry is like a coconut curry.
Hmm.
So it's like a little bit sweet, a little spicy. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. Get
Yes.
fried rice even.
Okay.
But that's actually a whole meal right there.
Guys, now I know this is not on topic, but how do you guys feel about Bob Saget passing away this week?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel anything because I only know Bob Saget from one show,
Family,
Full House.
Full House.
Yes. And I didn't even really watch it
No,
that
neither.
much.
I didn't
So-
like Full House. I never
Yeah,
watched
it
it.
wasn't my
Never
thing.
watched
It wasn't my thing.
I
Full
loved
House
it
was
because
my thing.
it actually had messages in it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, well,
You
it
there was
wasn't my
always-
thing.
You know why? I couldn't relate to
I couldn't
to Full
either.
House.
Bro, I didn't wake up. I didn't grow up in San Francisco in an apartment building. I grew up in the projects in New York. But I said to myself, oh wow, like we can live like that as a family. Like it gave me something to look up to.
I was watching
Especially-
Sister, you know.
I was watching
I was watching Family Matters.
Family Matters.
That was more of a thing that I was watching.
I was
not
watching Family
Full
Matters.
House.
I watched
Full House.
everything. I watched Family Matters, Full House.
Maybe I think my
watched
sisters
it.
watched it. That was the only time I watched that episode.
Listen,
of Full House.
Candace Cameron was my crush. I had a crush on Candace Cameron.
Oh, okay.
On Sister, the twins.
Mhm.
The twins, Tina and Tamara.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tia and
Tamara.
Tamara. Yeah.
They're still
Always.
beautiful now,
Yes, they
Yes,
are.
they are. Yes, they are.
and they're beautiful
Yeah,
people
and a
too.
beautiful
Which is-
family.
yeah, exactly.
I was
So-
watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, honestly.
Fresh
I took it-
Prince.
I took
yeah.
it hard when we
Yeah.
lost Uncle Phil.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That one. It felt like Kobe.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That
I'm
was
not
another
even gonna
one,
lie.
too. That was another rough
That
one.
was a rough one.
The
but
thing
Uncle
about
Phil,
the thing that
I'm
I like.
gonna tell you what hurt me more this year. The loss that hurt me. There's 2. Sydney 48.
Yes.
That one was a rough one. And then
We're losing
Betty
way too many people.
White.
Betty White is gangster.
Betty White.
Betty White. She lasts. How long? Was she?
90.
Like 100?
Yo,
No,
was
she was
3
about
weeks
3
away
weeks
from
from
being
being
100.
Oh my! That's what I thought.
And not only that,
Oh
this
my
is the
gosh.
crazy part. You ready for this? She was acting for 8 decades.
80 years.
Wow.
80
Wow.
years in the business.
Yeah.
She outlived
And
all
she was
those girls
beautiful.
from Golden Girls.
All of them. Yep. She was the
Yeah,
last living
she was
one.
the last one.
And she was.
Matter of fact,
that's
they
what
did like an homage to him, where they had all 4 of them like reunited in heaven. Because she went, so because it showed you like when they died, like what year, and then it showed like the year and then the person that died that year, and then they put them together with angel wings. It
And
was pretty cool.
And Betty White was for the people.
Yes.
She was looking out for the people, yo. Like, so I rock with Betty White.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Betty's gangster
I like
in a
it.
way. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? She
You know-
was- and let me tell you, she's a very attractive woman as a young woman.
Yeah,
She's
she
very
was.
attractive.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
attractive.
Like, if I pass away and I don't see
And-
Betty White in heaven, I'm not in heaven. I don't know where I'm at.
No, not only that, she was funny.
Yeah.
She was funny because
She was funny. She was
even
very
in her
funny.
last movies as an older, like as a
Mhm.
grandma, she was
very funny.
she was hilarious. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we missed. There's a lot of people, man. Sidney
Yeah.
Poitier, he
was 92 or
Wow.
96.
93.
93.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, he opened up the doors for people like Denzel, for
Yeah.
you know, other actors out there. You know,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
he
African American
broke-
actors. Yeah.
well, he was the first Black Grammy winner, right? If I'm not
He
mistaken.
was. Yes.
So
Was he?
yes,
He was.
yeah. So I mean, he broke a lot of barriers. I mean, we're losing a lot of John Madden. We lost John Madden.
John Madden, yep.
You know, we lost a lot of good people towards the end of the year and beginning of this year. So, you know, I talked to JC about that a lot, and JC says to me, you know, death's coming 3. So
It
I
does.
always
Yeah.
look at, all right, so we've got 2. Who's the third one? You know.
No, it was Betty White, Sydney 48, and Bob Saget.
That's right.
Oh,
I hope that's it for the next few months.
I hope so. Because
With the exclusion of Bob Saget, they were up there in age. They
They
outlived
were.
most.
Yes.
They outlived. They
Yeah,
lived
almost
longer than
100.
I
Yeah,
even
that's a
expect
long
myself
time.
to live.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it was
Bob Saget, I think, was the surprising dad.
That one was
It was
surprising.
surprising.
64.
He was actually here. He did a
was in
show.
Orlando.
He did a show the day before.
Yeah.
And then he was found dead in his.
At the Ritz.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Ritz. So that you know, I thought about it. I was like, you know, that's some horrible news in Orlando that just happened. You know.
Yeah.
We lost a great comedian. If you guys, okay, I know you only seen him in Full House.
Yeah.
But pull him up on YouTube and watch some of his stand up. It's freaking hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Because he goes crazy. Like you know.
I
He
didn't
said-
know he was a stand-up.
So one of the things that was funny to me one time is he was walking around with John Stamos, which is the other person on the show. But when he was walking around people, he was calling them like if they were on the show. Hey Jesse, and they're like, hey Dan, like they would talk to each other like they were on the show,
That's funny.
and people were like, what the hell's going on? So yeah, he would do that, and he would talk about it on stand up, and people would just look at him like they're crazy. It's like we never outlived the show, like they continued on. So one of the things that it's really big about what's predicted, which I saw this, you put in here. Economists predict average growth of 309,867 residents a year, which is 849 a day from April of 21 to 26. Explain that.
So actually, I misquoted it earlier. I said 300 a day. So it's actually more than double that number.
Yeah, it's 849 a day.
849 people a day moving into Central Florida.
Now, let me ask you a question, because they predict that. What do you think? Is that why you think that, you know, we're building everywhere? I mean, in regards to apartment complexes rather than, you know, suburban single-family homes?
And that's exactly it. That's why you're seeing a lot more apartments go up, because unfortunately we don't have the space in Central Florida to spread out like that. We do have the space in Florida. It just doesn't always get utilized. But
well, we want to keep some beautiful conservation areas as well.
That part, and then we're also trying to keep it kind of in the city. People want to, when they move to Orlando, they don't want to move to Point Siena. They don't want to move all the way into the
We're not
Mascot.
hating on Point Siena. We love you guys.
We love it. We have an agent that loves Point Siena.
Yeah.
He's by himself actually allowing it to be up and coming.
It is up and coming.
Every day he's bringing new clients out.
He's up and coming. Listen,
but anyways, he's the Point Siena supplier.
If you need to buy a house in Point Siena, reach out to Luis Martinez.
He got
Martinez. He will take care of you.
But anyways, if
I'll
you're
take
anyone,
care of him too. I mean,
okay, she'll head to Point Siena as well.
So you don't hate on Point Siena.
No, I don't.
Any one of those 850 people that are coming in daily within now in 2026, please call Phyllis or Louis.
They will help you.
Call us first.
Call
us.
And the best thing about them, set up your appointment between 3 and 4:30, Monday through Friday. That's the best time. They always like to take you out around that time.
That's when you're gonna see all the Point Siena on the street.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go ahead and fast forward it. But that's why I think there's a lot more apartment buildings being.
You know,
built
right there where I live on Boggy Creek, I thought they were gonna build like a storage. They built this humongous apartment complex right on the corner. So I was telling Vivi the other day, I was like, babe, they're gonna have to like open the road because it's a 2-lane road.
Yes.
They gotta open this
But
road.
the thing is, I don't understand when the architecture here and why they build the communities first, and then once the traffic get congested, then they start opening up roads. Why don't they do the roads first and then build the communities?
I see our government is very reactive.
Yes.
Instead of proactive.
But
so they
that's
wait for
not
the problem and then they solve the problem
hold on.
instead of.
Let's not isolate that to Florida. That's a government thing.
I feel you. I don't live nationwide though. I live here.
But I tell you what,
I'm feeling it here.
You grew up in New York.
I went to New York. Yes.
Hey, tell me how many 6-lane highways they have in New York. None. 2-lane, 3-lane, 4-lane at the most on both sides.
Yeah.
So,
But nothing 6-lane. We have a 6-lane I-4. They were anticipating that. That was an anticipation move right there.
I remember
that was an anticipation move.
It was horrible.
But that was an anticipation move to as far as revenue, because 2 of those lanes are not going to be free.
Correct.
Those are going to be paid.
Well, they had to make it. They had obviously with the amount of money that was put into
a
construction.
revenue thing, it's more proactive. But when it's just an accommodation, I see it as being really reactive.
Well, the thing
especially in a pocket, they're building town
tremendously
left and right, but the roads are not getting any wider.
They can't accommodate all.
And luckily, it's not to the point where we have traffic, but
it's gonna get there. It's gonna get there. Listen, how many calls do we get about a pop all the time? We get calls all the time about a pop. You know, so it's gonna grow to the point where eventually you're gonna need to expand those roads. And this is the crazy thing. They're building, so they have new roads.
Yeah.
which means now they have to take these new roads that they just built and expand them
Yes.
Yep.
because they
Yes.
just built them.
Yep,
Yes.
exactly.
I mean, by the park,
Mhm.
that area is growing tremendously.
exactly.
And-
429 connectors, those are new, but
Yeah.
there's always traffic on there.
And people.
Well, I remember when 429 used to end on 436
Yeah, that's true.
over by Earl Estates, and now it's
Yep,
wraps around.
exactly. Now that goes all the way through.
And then when I like to add too, when people come to Florida or when they want to be in Orlando, we realtors sometimes we have to push them and say you got to go out because it's so saturated and we can't get you. You know, there's not enough inventory. You got to push you out at least an hour away from the central Orlando area.
Listen, we met with a client. Me and Lewis met with a client yesterday that they like a Baca, right? And you know, we were like, well, what price point are you looking at? And they were looking in the 350s. I was like, well, we could still do a Baca. We could do some Macaulay, but they can buy with today's market up to 400. Now they're from New York, so when we asked them, we got their information. Guess what? Wife works from home. They relocated here because New York is shut down, so they relocated here. But her job is still she works remotely because she can travel back and forth to meetings if she needs to. But now she can live here. That is going to be a new wave.
Mhm.
That's going to be a new. That's why that 849 is going to be a huge number.
Yep.
And we got to try to accommodate these people. That's why the apartment complexes are being built.
And that's why you're seeing the outskirts of Orlando being built up so fast as well.
Right.
Because remember when Groveland was
Nobody wanted to live there.
nothing?
It was
Groveland
no
is
land.
beautiful, by the
Nobody
way.
want to
It's
live in St.
gorgeous.
Cloud or any of those
St. Cloud,
other people.
yeah.
St. Cloud is saturated right now.
St. Cloud is beautiful as well.
Look at
but
Point
it's
Siena.
very full. Point Siena is,
Aldora.
regardless of the jokes that we make about
Yeah.
Point Siena, there are a lot of people still moving to Point Siena
Yeah.
because it's an option.
Not only that, it's really close to Disney. So if you work for Disney, that's a really good place.
I'm
to
gonna
be.
tell you a story about Point Siena. When I was in my 20s and my husband and I was looking to buy a home. A realtor took me to Point Siena, and we were actually in her car. And I said, "Where in the hell are you taking?" It was me and a friend. And she said, "I'm taking to Point Siena. You can get a house over here for like you can get it for like $30,000. You can get a big house or a lot of." And
I mean,
halfway, I said, "You're gonna have to turn around because there's no way I'm gonna drive all the way out here." But she said, "Just come. I want you to see the house. The house was big, but it was in the middle of. It was nowhere. There was no stores, nothing." I said, "I don't care if this house was $10.
Look at it now, though.
I'm not coming."
If you would have bought it for $30,000, you would have sold it for $400,000 today.
Yes.
Probably. There's a very strong chance that would have been it. But again, you're driving over an hour and 20 minutes
Oh
in
my
that
gosh.
direction. And at that time, it was really one way in,
And
one
it was
way out.
scary.
Yeah,
though.
but there was not traffic over there because it was scary because there's no lights.
Well, it was
No,
one.
exactly.
It was just
It was a
one
two-lane
way
road.
there. Yeah, 2-lane road,
One
and
up
then
and one
the
down.
there was no grocery store, there was no schools. It was
So it's equivalent of you moving to the country at that time.
yes.
You
No,
was
absolutely, it
in the
makes
middle of
sense. I
nowhere at
mean,
that time.
but that's why you're paying
But-
30 to 40,000.
Yeah.
You know?
But right now, I'm not going to lie, Point Center has improved their roadways. There is more than one way in
They
and
had
out.
to because
There's like 4 outlets right now,
Yeah.
and they're building more.
One thing that does upset me about Point Siena, and it's not even Point Siena that upsets me, it's the I-4 that upsets me about Point Siena over there. There's a sign that says Apopka exit. And you take that sign, and it's like a whole hour
Yeah,
away
that's,
from Apopka. Like, why
Yeah.
is that sign there? First time in Point Siena, that's my first memory of Point Siena.
that's
I'm
why
leaving, I'm on I-4. I said, oh, Apopka, what is this? Freaking hour and a half
Didn't you know
away.
Point Siena had a section called the Pop? You should know that.
Out
You
here.
know what I'm saying?
Most upsetting thing ever.
drove the wrong-
And she told me, she said, no, it's close to Apopka. So, when I got there, I was
Did
so
not say
upset.
that.
I promise you, because she was like,
What?
I met her on International Drive. So she's like, no, I live in Point Siena, it's close to Apopka. Because she would always see the Apopka.
The sign.
So
So she thought, oh, it's right there. Oh, damn.
yes.
You were
So
pissed.
I head over there. I'm like, this is
Did you?
horrible.
You never called her again, did you?
We don't need to ask questions about
I'm
that. But
just
remember,
saying.
I was young. I was like 19, so I didn't have money like that. That was a lot of gas that I used.
Oh
that
my
day.
God! Yes,
So-
it is.
So if we did the research right now, what number would you put on how many complexes are being built just in the Orange, Osceola, Seminole County area? How many apartment complexes
At least
are going up?
How
At
much?
least
Minimum?
At least 20.
20's been built.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now.
I'll tell you this, just in my
This
side
huge one
of
on the
town.
Midland right now.
So just on my side of town, just off of the Boggy Creek Road, you have 1, 2. We have 3, just
Yeah.
there. That's how many people are moving into that area.
There's a huge one being
32824,
built in
32832.
Apopka right at the end of the Maitland.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Lake Nona. Lake Nona is another place that's
Oh,
growing
yeah.
tremendously.
Yep.
I'm in Avalon. Avalon they had a beautiful cow pasture across the street from me and from where I was living. And then one day I came home and there was no cows was gone, and they were having signs up about for sale. I was like, no. And now it's just businesses open and
a lot of well, I don't know if you know this, but the biggest farm that exists in Florida is in St. Cloud.
Yeah.
It's one of the only farms that still exists.
I probably won't stay there long.
No, it will because so they sold Dr. Phyllis. I'm sorry, let me take that back. Little Bronson owned a ton of land.
Oh yeah.
And his children sold that land to Lamar and all these other big builders. So the other farm, that's actually a functioning farm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's still probably going to be there for a while.
We'll keep an eye out, but I suspect down the road.
I mean, you got everything has a price, I guess, but you know, it just depends on what the family decides if they want to do that, if they want to continue farming or not.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, it's growing tremendously.
It's growing.
Well, we feel it as realtors.
I feel it as a realtor, as a resident,
my
public,
biggest,
all of it.
like I said, my biggest concern is we're building the apartment complex fast enough, and this is something this is for our renters, but for our homeowners, you know, people that are coming to own a home, that's where the challenge is going to be.
You know what my biggest concern is? That I can't go into like a store and wait and buy something without having to wait in a long line.
Right.
Like there's too many lines, and I'm one of those people that refuse to do self-checkout. If I do self-checkout, I promise you I'll make the biggest scene. I don't know how nothing works. I'm asking for help left and right, and the whole time they're helping me, I'm telling them I missed my orientation day. I'm sorry, I missed my orientation. I don't know how this works.
Why you sound trouble?
Because you don't have to work for it. You want to grab your stuff and put it on the counter and let somebody do all the work.
I just want to work shopping. But this is also the reason why I order a lot of things online.
That's what I'm saying. You could just do that.
So then it's making the stores they're losing that money that I could have went
and
did that.
Not if you buy it from them direct.
That's if you buy it from them direct. I'm going to Amazon.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
I can buy groceries off of Amazon.
I don't know if I trust groceries off Amazon.
Nah, it's solid because if they mess up one thing, they refund your entire
food.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah. So Neville calls in on a daily basis.
Nah, don't play. It's like
you missed an apple. It should have been 6. You gave me 5.
No, I'm not even gonna lie. I bought apples one time. They gave me like 2 apples, and I was like, "This is supposed to be a whole bag."
Yeah.
And I sent the screenshot of what I picked, and they refunded like the price of apples. They refunded like all my produce. I was like, "Okay."
Whoa.
I didn't ask for it, but I needed more than 2 apples.
I will tell you, this customer service is pretty good.
I love Amazon.
So it's like, do I want to order online or do I want to go ring myself up at Target?
I will tell you this, for the sense of communicating with people and not being locked in a house, I'd rather go wait and sit on the line because I'm the guy that talks to everybody on the line.
I still like going into stores.
You need more friends, bro. You just leaving the house.
I just love to make friends.
He's tired of talking to his kids. And this is why I don't have kids. He's tired of having those conversations. Tired of talking to your kids.
Nobody says I'm tired of talking to my kids. I
man.
love talking to my kids. I love talking to my wife. I'm just saying, if I'm on the line, I'm going to talk to people. I'm not going to wait and just sit there like, you know, and then I'll be up in their conversation. What you thinking about buying a house? Hold on, let me.
So he's doing some business.
Yeah, he's doing business out here.
I'm just saying.
He's helping other people ring up.
I'll be like, so let me get that for you. So you're saying?
Yeah.
So you thinking about $450? Yes. Okay.
Let me buy this groceries for
you. So we're getting to the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Neville give his because it's
last.
Yeah, the success story wrap up. So
okay.
you know
which one do you want to hear about?
I don't know. Let's talk about the one that you helped them sell and helped them buy, and literally was able to
you
make
don't
that
know,
work.
You know what's so funny? I do want to hear one of yours.
Yeah, we want to hear.
You're asking the ones that I helped sell and buy. Which one? The last 3 were all the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I'm selling one on Friday. That's exactly the same. So it's all the same. My stories are kind of boring. Let's hear Phyllis's success.
Yeah,
let's save this one for next week.
Yeah, let's say that.
I have a really good success story. So
now, Phyllis, before you start, full disclaimer: if it puts me to sleep, we're gonna.
You're never coming back.
Yeah, we're definitely.
No, this
coming
won't
back.
put you to sleep. This is when I first got my license, and I had a gentleman that was looking for a condo. he said just because he had a business in Metro West, and
Okay.
he wanted a condo
In Metro West?
In Metro West.
Got it.
So I took him, and we was looking at this condo, and there was a family in there from Venezuela. There was a man and a woman and a little baby girl. So I took him in there, and he was looking around. And so the gentleman there, I started talking to him. I said, "Hey," I said, "What are you guys gonna do when you move from here?" He said, "I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do." And he said he's from Venezuela, and they were here on visa. So I said, "Well, the little baby, she had just started walking." I said, "Wouldn't it be nice to have a home and have your daughter in the backyard playing, swinging in the swing back there?"
Upselling. I got you.
Yeah, and he said he looked, and to me, he looked at me, and he paused for a moment. He says, "That would be really nice," he said. So I gave him my card, and I said, "Give me a call, and I can help you get in the house."
Okay.
So his wife was in the kitchen. It was a tiny, tiny condo. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just only one bedroom.
It should have been like a one-person condo. It's
It
kind of
was
like a starter condo.
It was very small. So he gave me a call. He said, "Can you help us? Can you help us because we have to move?" And
Yeah, because the condo. Now,
because-
did your client end up buying the condo?
No, my client did not buy the condo, but it was being sold to somebody else.
Gotcha.
So
they still had to move.
So I got a good, at that time, I thought it was a good lender, but I got a lender. And because they were here on visa, it was a little challenging to get them pre-approved, but we got them pre-approved. And so we were out looking, and at that time, we're talking about 3 years ago, it wasn't that bad, but
The prices were lower.
They were pre-approved for like $320. So,
okay, so that's not too bad at that
yeah,
time.
he was working he had a job working at a warehouse, but the wife she was actually a doctor from Venezuela, but in Venezuela they don't really make a lot.
Correct.
So anyway, the visa thing was the big thing, but the lender was able to get them pre-approved. We was out looking at homes. I took him to a house over in 32808. Mm-hmm. It was a very nice community over there. And so I saw he wanted to be in that community, that area. So we went to several times. So this one time we went and we looked around and everything. And so he says, "I like this house." We put an offer, and talking with the seller's agent, she said, I got a lot of offers here. I don't think I don't know. The owner is gonna have to make the decision. So I went to her. I took a bottle of wine and also a gift card, and I said, this family is from Venezuela and they really need a house. They're having to move and all of that. And so she said to me, so I also had my buyer write a letter stating where they were from, why they were here, and they took a family photo. And so we sent it over to the owner. The owner was from Venezuela.
Oh my goodness.
And the owner, they had several offers. The owner said that they looked like them when they bought that house. Her and her husband and her baby girl. They looked and reminded them of them. Not only did they get the house, but they got the house full of furniture, beautiful, brand new. The living room, the dining room, the bedroom had the big king bed with the TV stand, everything.
Wow, so that's
and guess what? The biggest backyard ever with the swing in the back for their daughter.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So and
that's an amazing story.
That's a great story.
Have you told that story before? Because I've never heard it.
I have told that story before, and when I gave them the key at closing, they both just broke down and cried. And so every year since then, when their daughter has their birthday, they invite me over. Oh, wow. And they've got, all the first birthday party that they had there, they actually had their family from Venezuela come down. And they were all there, and they introduced me to the mom and the dad. And
you have a picture on their fridge? You have a picture on their fridge? Like you should, like a family picture, you're in it.
That's when you take the card magnet, put it up on the fridge, let them know.
So
that's a cool story, though. That's really cool. And that's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we do. We put smiles like you said, they used to call you Smiles, Sunshine.
Sunshine.
So
yes.
you put smiles on their faces, you know,
Yeah.
and you know that's the ultimate goal.
But
Be
if
able to
I
make a
hadn't had them
family
to do the letter talking about, and it was a beautiful letter he wrote. He said, you know, he came here and it was here to work and everything. And so I think just all of that and combined, because really when the offers are given to the seller, they don't know. It's just a bunch of
Correct.
paper,
Yeah.
people on paper, but it was personalized where it wasn't just that. You can see that this is a real family. These are
Yeah.
people that will, you know, and the house right now is amazing. He's done so many. He's such a proud homeowner,
Yeah.
so proud, and that was just such a blessing to them, and I
So
just
right
feel
there,
I felt more fulfilled, and I cried more than anything when after the closing. I actually cried all the way home because, you know, I just felt like. I felt I had an angel on my shoulder, and and the angel was telling me what to do to help them.
Like
because
you
they
took
needed
those
help.
steps.
so right there, kind of, I feel like that embodies kind of why we all are in real estate,
Mhm.
where it's like we do it for that feeling.
Yeah.
And you don't get it at every transaction. It's different degrees, but
Yeah,
you
Yes.
definitely are. Me personally, I'm always looking for that feeling.
yeah.
Like that's my driving force.
Me
And
too.
it sounds the same.
It's a great feeling. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're able to achieve something for a client that they felt was impossible,
Yeah.
for you to be able to put them into a home, there's no greater feeling. And you know, the hug that you get is genuine. The tears are genuine. The when they thank you, it's amazing. And when you look at those moments are the moments that really matter. Everything else is just, it goes by the wayside.
Yeah.
Commissions is a byproduct. Everything goes by the wayside.
This happened to me with one of my last closings. I kept telling you, like, I keep forgetting to cash your check. Like I was still on that high that I wasn't even thinking about this check that I did not cash for almost like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Like I was just going through like whatever. Okay, also let me chase it again. Like
Yeah.
really and truly. And
I mean,
that's really what it is.
that feeling, and to be able to, you know, that's an amazing story because, you know, you didn't know they were Venezuelan, you know, but they chose the offer. Like I told the other day, I was telling you, you know, a girl got I think I was telling you, the girl got the deal because of damn cookies.
Yep.
Because of cookies.
Mhm.
She,
Cookies
and
for the
literally, it
owner.
was like I was representing the seller. And the seller calls me one night and says, you know, we had 18 offers on the table, and she says, like, I want the girl that gave me the cookies.
Yeah.
So I had to go through 18 calls to find out who gave her the cookies.
Right.
But that little token of
that's what differentiates an offer, like just cash money, to like this is a person actually.
This is a person
that likes your home and wants to live in your home.
Yeah, and like I said, it wasn't even the best offer.
Yeah.
Because I told her, I said, look, this is, you know, this is gonna bring me problems.
Now I think about it, I have like some of the best stories of when we wrote letters. Like those are the best clients.
It was the best. But the thing is, as the seller, because that was their home, and sometimes, you know, even though they're selling, they still have a personal
emotional
connection,
attachment.
you know, they have maybe kids there or whatever.
Or raise
and
the kids there.
Raise the kids. And so when they get this information from the buyer, potential buyer, it strikes, you know, their emotion, and it makes them feel like they're giving their home to someone that they know almost, and they feel like
they're going to continue the legacy of what they built in that house. So, you know, and in your case, what they
make an attachment, actually a connection with the owner. Yeah.
I've had, and you guys probably have had this happen too, where the old owner and the new owner become friends.
Yes.
You know, so
you say that.
And that happened to the Venezuelans. They are talking. They are friends.
Yeah, because
today.
So this one, the one that she bought a house at 18, the owners were actually in the house when we went to go show it. We ended up standing outside for 2 hours, just my buyer and the owners. They were talking, just talking, and there was one thing that my client remembers that they said is, "I raised my family here, and hopefully you get to raise your family here." And I remember her response. She was like, "Oh, that's gonna be years from now, like 10 years from now." And now she's having her first child in that home. And actually, you're reminding me, and she had their phone number and she gave them my phone number. So they text me when they to like just to talk. And I have their number. That's the old owner. So I'm gonna call him and let him know like, hey, what you said
happened. I tell you like this. So Phil, Phil, my electrician. So same thing with him. Like I remember one day we were just sitting on my balcony in my apartment at the time. I had like a 1-bedroom apartment, and we were there. We were having a beer, and I said to him, joking around, and we were in the balcony, and his wife Jennifer took a picture of us on the balcony. He says, and he sent me a copy of the picture a couple years ago, and he said, "Do you remember what you said to me this day?" I said, "Yeah." Joking around with you, I said, "Yeah, you know what? One day I'm gonna get a real estate license. I'm gonna sell you a house." And sometimes when you say stuff like that, it really happens. Like so, I ended up getting my license, and about 5 years after, I ended up selling him a house in Waterford Lakes, which we discussed the other day. It's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And now his brother is buying with us, so hopefully never will get him into a contract soon. But that's going to be another great story because he's moving from New York. So
I can't tell you how many times several people have contacted me and said, "Can you help me? Can you help me?" This couple, they're 66, never owned a home ever in life, and I got them into a house at 66.
Yeah, we're not going to tell that story because it's probably a sad one. Neville has one that's even worse in regards to that. I mean, it's sad because it's emotional, but we were able to do something. It was an amazing blessing. But we'll save that one for next.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a roller coaster ride of emotions.
Yeah. And
that's a whole episode within itself. I'll tell that story actually one day.
We got to have somebody stronger sitting here.
Yeah.
She's going to break down like a baby.
She's going to cry.
She's going to crack down. So.
Everybody gets a little scary guy when
I know I do. Because and I've heard the story so many times, but I was part of it because I remember having to help out with the situation. So since I had to help out with the situation, it
was emotional even after the sale.
Correct.
Like and there was still things happening after the sale, and it actually got worse, and it got better.
It got better.
I actually heard about it. Well, I'll tell the story.
Yeah, we'll wait till next week.
Because the story even goes into 2021.
Let us know in the comment section. Let us know in the comment section if you want to hear the story. Yeah. For those of you who are criers, make sure you have your tissue close. Because I promise you will cry.
I got choked up in that. I don't cry. I'm not a crier.
Exactly. But some things that just happen, and then you end up. It ends up, it hits you. Yep. So that being said, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Wednesdays is going to be the new showtime.
Yeah.
5 o'clock. Hopefully we won't have any more technical issues. Well, I think we won't because Phyllis probably won't be here. But we'll have Lewis back on. So Lewis will be on the show with us next week. Lewis, I see, you were in the comments, you were watching the show, but I can't wait to see you next week. Tear it up on the show. So we're going to have a great time. We're going to be talking about, Florida real estate. We're going to be talking about everything that's happening, some exciting things that are happening in Florida. Imagination City is getting bigger. So we'll be talking about that. And there's a lot of things happening.
I vote for Phyllis to come back. I mean, Lewis, you cool and all, but you're not Phyllis.
Phyllis is kind of awesome. No, she is kind of awesome.
Well, I think so too. I think I fit well.
So we could ask the audience. So
do you want me back?
Do you want Phyllis back or do you want Lewis?
So we're gonna vote for this.
Yeah.
I need you guys on the Instagram page. We're gonna vote.
Now this is the thing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on Instagram. We're gonna put an episode, a snippet of us with Lewis, and then a snippet of this show. And you guys pick which one was better.
That's right.
And who do you want to see on the show again next week? And every week after that. So thank you so much for joining us, for watching us. Hit subscribe hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications.
Like, subscribe, and notifications.
Yes, please. Thank you for that.
All of that.
My tongue got tied for a minute.
Right here, like at the bottom of the screen, we're gonna have like a little thing that says like.
Yep.
That says like, subscribe,
and follow. So that way you can hear what's going on in Orlando. And this is from everywhere. If it doesn't matter where you're from. Follow us. We'll tell you what's going on in Orlando. And we will have segments about, these builders. I didn't want to talk about it today, but we'll talk about builders next week.
Yes.
We're actually gonna run up on them. We're gonna do it live. We're gonna have the builders
there.
Should
we do that?
I think so.
Matter of fact, we should.
You know what? We'll let you do that.
Let's go to I'm not gonna mention the name, but let's go to one of these 1%ers.
Yeah.
And just interview them about that.
I think that's a great idea.
Yep.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
So absolutely can't wait. We're probably gonna work that up. It probably won't be next week's show.
Yeah.
But the show after we'll run up.
Yeah. For those episodes, we're gonna have Lou do it because it looks like Lou knows how to fight. So if it comes down to it, hey,
you'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
So much for watching. See you next week.
Yep.
Have a great one. Thank you, Phyllis, for being here.
You're welcome.
Awesome.